Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel, and I'm back with a new video where we are going to create a text editor in Python tkinter. So this will be a GUI based text editor just like your normal notepad where we can add a lot of features. So we are going to create that right now. So let us start with opening VS Code. Here I have created this folder YouTube text editor. In that I have this app.py file. So now in this file what I will do is, first of all I'll import everything from tkinter. So from tkinter import everything, then I'll say root equals to tk, oops, k should be small. I'll say root dot main loop, then I'll say root dot geometry. So the basic normal geometry will be 800 by 600, and I'll say root dot title, and the title will be my text editor. Okay, this T should be capital, this Y should be small, so my text editor. Now in this application, let me close this first. Okay, so now in this what we should get by running it is an empty window of 800 by 600 resolution where currently we have nothing. So let us add a text area where we can type. So let us add that. So to add that, what I will do is I'll add a comment text area here. Okay, so here I'll create that text area will be equal to a text widget which I'll use, which will be rendered inside of this root, and it will have a font equals to, it will have a font Helvetica 22. Then what next do we want in this is, okay, so that is good for now. So here I'll use .pack method to pack it onto the screen, and here I'll provide some arguments, but let me show you what we get after running it. So now here you can see we can type anything that we want. So I can type I am typing here, okay, sorry, here. Okay, so just like that. But as soon as I increase the size of my window, this text area is limited to this box only. That's not something that we want. We want this text area to expand as we expand our window, and it should take all the space that we have. So to do that, we will add two properties. One is expand equals to true, that means it will expand as per we increase or decrease the size, and fill equals to both, that means it will be filled in both axes, that is y axis and x axis. Okay, so now if I'll run my code, you will see we have this text area where I can type this is amazing, and if I'll increase the size now, you will see we have full window as this text bar now text widget now. Okay, so next what do we need to add is simple, we have to add a scroll bar. So let us add that scroll bar here as well. So scroll bar, and in this I'll create scroll equals to a scroll bar which will be packed inside the root, and it will have command equals to y scroll, sorry, it will have y scroll. Okay, so here we'll simply pack it first. Okay, so scroll dot pack, we'll pack it on side equals to right, so that we get this on the right side here, and it should be filled in y axis, that means vertically it should occupy the whole space in y axis. So we have this scroll bar now, and scroll dot config, so here we'll configure this, and here we will add command. Okay, command is equals to the text area dot y view, so that it is now set to the text area and the y view of that text area, that means it is vertical oriented scroll bar. But now we have to connect this scroll bar to this text area as well. So here we will add y scroll command equals to scroll dot set, and now to do this we have to move this scroll bar from here to here, because we are using scroll dot set in this text area, which should be after this scroll bar. Now if I'll run my code, you will see we get a text bar here, not text bar, sorry, scroll bar here. If I'll type I am creating this text editor with Python. And if I'll select all of this, I'll copy this and I'll paste it here like this. So here, as you can see, our taskbar or our scroll bar is working now. So here, as you can see, we have this scroll bar which is working properly. We can select everything, we can delete it, and we can do a lot of stuff with this text area now. Now what else do we need? So we need a status bar, or we need to add some features. So first I will add a feature with which I can zoom in or zoom out the text size. Okay, so as I zoom in, I should get the, or as I move my mouse wheel upwards, I should increase the size. As I move my mouse wheel downwards, we should decrease the size. So we have learned about events, right? So we have learned about events in my previous videos. If you haven't watched them, then do watch my all of the videos where you can learn about tkinter and Python a lot. And if you haven't watched my previous video where we created a paint application, you can watch that video in the I button as well. Okay, so with that said, here let me add the text area dot bind. So with this bind, we can bind this text area. Here I'll add mouse wheel, and this is our event. Here I'll say change font. Okay, change font size. So here function names should be in lowercase letters. So I'll add this, and we have to add this function here as well. So let us create change font size function, which takes an event, and what it does is simple. So this, what it will do is it will set the text area. Okay, so text area font, and it will set the text area font to a tuple which will have two values then, and we will do that later. So how we will do that is simple. Here I'll create font equals to a list, and this list will contain 𝗣𝗆𝘆𝗆𝗺𝗆, and it will contain another which is font size. So font size, here I'll provide 22 as default. I'll save it because we have 22 here as well. So 22 is default font size. Now what I will do here is I will access this font. So I'll say text area font, will access the font, and what we will do here is, instead of using this, I'll global font, I'll use this global font to use it globally, and I'll say font 0, that is this 𝗆𝗆𝘆𝗆𝗆, and font 1, that is this size. So I want to configure size plus equals to 1. So now we are increasing the size of this font. So we are increasing this size with 1 each time we zoom in or zoom out. Okay, so what we will do in this is simple. So after doing this, what we will do is we will set this tuple, we'll convert this list into a tuple, and we'll set it here. And similarly on here, instead of this, what we will do is we'll say tuple font, and now I'll save it. And why I have this font in capital letters, the reason behind it is this will not change, this is a constant. The size will change, but I want this list to be a constant. So if I'll run now, if I'll run this application, you will see our size is this, and it is being changed. And as I move my mouse wheel up, it is increasing. As I move my mouse wheel down, it is still increasing. So how we can configure that? So to do that, it is very, very easy. So here, this event, let us print this event first. So let us see what this event is returning. So here, if I'll increase my mouse, okay, so here if I'll increase and decrease the size, here you can see as I increase my mouse, okay, so here you can see we have mouse wheel, event, state, and all of those things. Now let me run this again and let me show you what the difference is. So let us clear it up. Okay, so let us clear it, and now let's run the application. So here, okay, I am increasing, I am zooming, and that means I am moving my mouse wheel up. So now see the difference here. We have delta is equals to 120, and now I'll decrease the mouse. Okay, so that means I'll move my mouse wheel downwards. Now you can see our delta is negative. So how we can now get the actual idea of what we are doing? We are zooming or we are zooming out, we are zooming in or out. That means we are moving our mouse button or mouse wheel upwards, or we are moving our mouse button downwards. How we can get that? So to get that, it is very simple. Here we will check if, okay, if event dot type, so event dot delta, not type, so delta, if event dot delta is greater than 0, that means it is positive. If that is the case, then we will increase the size, okay, then we will increase the size. And else, if that's not the case, then what we'll do, we'll say font 1 minus equals to 1. So then we will decrease the size, okay, if that's not the case. Okay, so else, instead of else, I'll check here again, event dot delta, delta, event dot delta, and I'll save it now. Now here I have text area font is equals to tuple, and this tuple is a font. Okay, so this function will return this to us, and it will not return, it will set this text area font to tuple font, and just like that we can increase and decrease the size now. So now let's run our code, and here I'll, okay, sorry, so here I'll write this is amazing, events are working properly. Okay, and now if I'll zoom in, you will see our text is not increasing. If I zoom down, our text is decreasing. Okay, so that is something that is happening. So now if I'll increase, it's not increasing, but if I'll decrease, that means if I'll rotate my mouse up, it's working, but if I'll rotate my mouse down, it will not work. And why is that? So here, if you will see, we have a small bug, that is event.delta, but what about it? It should be less than 0. So I made that mistake. That was a silly mistake that I made. So here, this is a great app. Say should be small. Now if I'll zoom in, you will see our text size is increasing, and if I'll zoom down, our text size is decreasing. So just like that, we can make our font size change. Now with this, we are able to change our font size. Now let us add some options to make it look much more, you can say, its UI should look much more better. Okay, so to do that, I'll add a menu bar, and to add a menu bar, it is very simple. We'll create a menu bar equals to a menu. This menu will be packed inside of this root, and I'll create another menu, that is file menu. So this file menu will go inside of this menu bar. So it will be a menu as well, but it will be packed inside of this menu bar. So this menu bar is our root menu. Inside of that, we have another menu which will be packed inside of this menu. So it's like a nested connection. Now we can use file menu dot add command. We can add a command, and let's add a label equals to new, and here we will create some more commands. We will create more commands. New, here I'll say open, here I'll say save, here I'll say save as, and here I'll say exit. So these are the commands that I will add. And then how we can now make our file menu appear on the menu bar. So to do that, I'll say menu bar dot add cascade, and here I'll say label. What is the label of this menu? It is file. And what is the menu? Okay, so the menu is file menu in this case. So file menu. And now with this, we will not get the menu bar here, but let us run it. So you can see we don't get a menu bar. And why is that? Because we also have to add this menu bar to root.config. So here I'll say root.config, and in this I'll say menu equals to menu bar. And with that, we should be able to see our menu onto the screen. So here, as you can see, we have this menu where we have new, open, save, save as, and exit. So here, what else we can do with this menu? So this menu can be, you can say, pulled out of that menu bar like this, which is a tier of property, which we will set to false. So how we will do that? So here in this file menu, we will set tier of equals to, you can set it to 0 as false, or you can set it to false directly. I'll go with this approach, as it makes it much more understandable. Now if I'll run my code, we get tier of is not defined, t should be smaller, not capital. And now let's run the code. You will see now we don't get that option here. Now this menu looks much more complicated. We should get the options separately, like new and open should be separate, or new should be separate, open save and save as should be separate, and exit should be separate. So to do that, we will add the add separator. Okay, so let us close this application. Okay, so let's add the add separator here. So we'll do file menu dot add separator. Okay, so add separator, and I'll copy it down here as well. Now I'll save this code and I'll run it. Now you will see we get these separating lines like this. Okay, so now what should happen when we click exit? Okay, so our app should exit, and when we click on new, our new file should be created. We will do all of that working functionality stuff in the next part of this video, but in this part what I am going to show you is how to exit app with this exit. So command is equals to exit, and that's it. With that you should be able to exit the application. So here if I'll go and if I'll hit exit, you see our app is closed. Now just like that we can do a lot of stuff with this. We can add different menus. So quickly I'll add another menu. Okay, so let's copy this code and let us paste it down here. Okay, now instead of this file menu, which menu do we want? So I want a menu of, you can say, colors, and where we can customize the colors. Okay, so at that menu we should be able to customize the colors. So here instead of file menu I'll say color menu. Okay, and this color menu is like this. Okay, now here this label should not be there. I want only 3 options. Okay, so I'll simply keep these 3 options there, and here in this new I'll say default theme. Okay, now I'm telling you this to show you how themes work. So dark theme and light theme, or you can say desert theme. Okay, theme, and this menu should have the title of themes, and file menu instead of this I'll add color menu, or we can add themes menu as well. So now let's save it and let's see what happens when we run this code. We get a themes menu, but nothing will happen when we click on it. So to make it work, what we will add is we will add this command property to all of these, you can say all of these options. So here what I will do is simple. I'll say command is equals to and the name of the theme. So in this case it is default. So here I'll say default theme. Okay, default theme. Here I'll say dark theme. Here I'll say desert theme, and that should work now. Until and unless we are not adding the function, it won't work. So here I'll add a function quickly, default theme, which what it will do is simple. It will simply change the color of this text area. So what we need is text area color, that means the BG. So background color, so the background color will be equal to black or white as it is the default theme. Then text area FG will be equal to black as it is the default theme. I'm saying this again and again. Then what do we need next is I'll set the cursor color. So text area insert background, and insert background is the option to add the cursor color. So here I'll set this to black. Okay, so this theme should work now. Now let's copy this, and now here I'll create similar function just for black theme, that is okay dark theme. And in this what I'll do is simple. I'll simply paste it, and the text area BG should be black in this case, FG should be white in this case, and the cursor color should be cyan in this case. I'll simply copy it down, and instead of dark theme I'll go with desert theme. So desert theme, and here the background will be brown, not brown, wheat in this case. The text area will be black, not black, let's say the foreground color will be brown, I guess, and this will be brown as well. So now with that we should be able to change the themes. You can do this with using color picker as well. So we will add that option. You can add that option if you want. So default theme, that's this theme. The dark theme or desert theme, this looks like this. Here we can add anything like this theme looks great. Okay, now theme and dark theme. So dark theme looks like this. I like this theme personally. Okay, so just like that you can configure a lot of themes, and you can add a lot of themes. You can add a bunch of themes. You can also do one thing, that you can create these functions outside of this file. So you can create another file named themes, and you can simply copy and paste all of these themes onto there, and then you can import it just by using this normal import statement, and you can import those themes there directly. So you can do that. That is one good option. So you can add a lot of themes, a bunch of themes there. Okay, so that is working well. Now let us add a status bar, which will make our app look much more beautiful. So to do that, what I will do is simple. Here let's add the status bar. So status bar. Okay, so this S should be capital, the space and bar. Okay, so we'll create the status bar now, and I'll say status is equals to what status bar is. It is a basic label which will be packed inside of the root, which will have a text is equals to what the text will be. So here I'll say the text is the actual x coordinate and y coordinate. Let's do that. It will show us what coordinate we are on. Okay, so it will show that. We can change that to line numbers as well. You can take help from the internet and you can do that. Okay, so here I'll say relief equals sunken, which will make it look much more better. It will make it look like it is a status bar, and dot I'll say pack, and I'll pack it on the bottom side. So I'll say side equals to bottom, and I'll say the fill equals to x. Why? Because we want it to occupy all the x-axis. So here we have this. Now what this text will be, so this text will be a variable. I'll set it to position, so coordinates. So let's say coords. Okay, and what this coords is, so let's go there and let's say, or what we can do in this case is simple. So on this text area we can bind another function, which will be, this function will be the motion. So this motion function gives you the actual motion of the mouse. So when you move your mouse, this motion will get triggered. And let's say show status. I'll create this function. Here I'll say def show status, and this takes an event, and what is it? It returns is simple x and y, and we'll set this x to event.x and event.y for y. Now we have x and y here. So what we will do, the simple thing that we will do is simple. We will say status, and the text that we want in this status will be equal to x, and here I want the value of x, and comma, and y, and here I want the value of y. So what is the value of y? So the value of y is this y, and this is a formatted string. Or the other way that we can do is much more simple. So here we can create a bracket, and in this we can say x, y, and we can give this, and then instead of that we can simply show x and y in these brackets, just like this. So this will make it look much more cleaner as well. So let us save this as well. And now, okay, so we have this code. Oops, sorry. Okay, so we have this code. If I'll save it and if I'll run this code, you'll see we get coords. Did you mean chord? So this coordinates is not defined. So let us say the text, initially the text will be status bar. This will be our text. Now let's run the code. Now here you'll see we have this status bar here, down here, which works when we move our mouse around. So it looks great. You can do that in your Paint application as well. So here instead of this text, okay, so text is good. I'll say font is equals to, I'll change the font to Helvetica, and I'll set in the size of the font to 18. And one more thing that I'll do here, I think the first approach that we created looks much more better. So I'll say X is this, and oops, what I'm doing here is Y is this, and this looks much more neat. Okay, so now let's run this code and we get, you forgot the comma, so let's add the comma in there. So let's go down here, and after this we have to add a comma, save it, and now let's run our code. And here you can see we have this X and Y in bigger size. I think size 14 or 15 should be okay for this. So this 18 looks very big. I don't want that to happen. I want our application to look neat and clean. So this looks, still it looks very big in size. Let's keep it 12. Now let's run the application. Yes, it looks fine. So we can keep this like that. Now let us change the color of status bar as well when we are changing the color of the text area. So here what I will do is simple. I'll say the background color of the status bar in the default theme will be gray, and the text, okay, so instead of text area I'll say status. Okay, I'll copy this down and I'll go here and I'll say background color of this in the dark theme will be black, and the status FG in this case will be cyan, which will look much better. And I'll do the same for this. So I'll simply copy this out and I'll simply paste it down here, where the background color will be brown and the foreground color will be wheat. So save it, and now let's run our code. Here we have this application. Let's go to themes, let's change it to dark theme. We have this theme where the FG color is now black, and that's why we cannot see that. Now let's say our theme is desert theme. So now this looks great. Okay, so we can change that as well. So cyan, the spelling is wrong, I made the mistake there, and that is the reason your code is not working. My code is not working. Run it again, go to themes, let's hit dark theme, and now we get this dark theme. What if I will be able to hit Control and D, and when I'll hit Control and D, the dark theme will be automatically set. So how we can do that is simple. So on this text area I'll bind the dark theme. Okay, I'll bind in this dark theme with the control dash, so ctrl dash D. Okay, I'll save it, and now if I'll run my code, okay, we get ctrl is bad event type. So this C should be smaller, I guess, or it should be control, I guess. So control D, I don't remember the events now, so control is not defined. So what is the event for control? Is it control like this? Save it and run it. We get this. Now let's hit Control D. So now we don't see anything. If I'll close it, okay, so Control D is not the event. The name of the event is not Control D. It should be ctrl dash D, I guess. Save it and run it. We get an error. So now we can check what the event for control is. Okay, so this D should be smaller in this case. Save it and let's keep it control. Save and run, and now if I'll hit Control D, okay, we get dark theme takes 0 positional argument but 1 was given. So in this case what I will do is simple. Okay, so in this I'll simply add in that event, so event, and I'll save it. And now if I'll run my code, you will see if I'll hit Control D, or dark theme gets applied, and we can now use this dark theme like this. This is amazing theme. Okay, so just like that we can create this notepad or this text editor. If I'll hit exit, we will exit out of that application. So we can create this type of application with using tkinter, and in this application we haven't added the save, open and save as features. The new file feature. So we are going to do that in the next video. So stay connected with me, and if you like my YouTube videos, please do subscribe and please leave a comment below what should be improved and what do you like. So thank you for watching this video guys, and I will see you in the next